Miss Taylor Allison Swift used AI in a new video. I think it was a promotional video, much to the chagrin of her biggest fans. I'm Cam from Bulwark. I'm joined today by my dear friend Ellie, who is one of the quintessential Twitter Swifties. And Ellie, you were just cited in a Wired article talking about how the fandom must not stand for this. But before we get into that, I just want to show everybody the video that we're talking about.
Yeah, though I do want to be clear, we're not 100% sure of her involvement in this.
Yeah, I mean, I highly doubt Taylor Swift was, telling her team, hey, let's use AI for this. But let's cut to the video real quick. So yeah, I wasn't entirely sure this was AI until I saw that one bartender's hand just kind of teleport through the napkin. But I'm wondering what your initial reaction was and if you could tell it was AI from the jump.
So I do just want to be very clear that we don't 100% know what the involvement was, if there was an approval from her team, if there was an approval from her, if this is an official partnership between herself and this Google AI, or if this is something they did without necessarily clearing it and the videos were pulled. But yes, I watched the video and I was giving it a little glance because I was at a wedding, so I wasn't paying that much attention to it. But Swifties are not people who just watch a video lightly. We know there's Easter eggs and we know there's things that we're going to want to see. So there's a tendency to go frame by frame by frame by frame. And people were very, very upset when they realized some of these frames don't look right. This isn't right. This is AI. It's very clearly AI. And people were really upset. And when I heard that, I initially was like, there's no way. And then I looked at it myself and I was like, that's AI. That's Gen AI. That's messed up.
Yeah. And I guess the first response I was seeing from everybody was just Taylor Swift has more than enough money to hire real people to do this. And, again, that doesn't mean that they had clearance from her to do this type of thing. But it's just it was very confusing to me because I personally figured that things like that, the way that Taylor operates, she would want her hands on anyway. I never saw Taylor Swift as somebody who just kind of outsourced shit and was like, yeah, pop off, everybody go post it. I thought of Taylor as the type of artist who would want final approval on everything, make sure everything is run by her. That was the behaviors that I had kind of observed from the way that she goes about doing her stuff.
Yeah, no, so honestly, the problem that I had with it was not as much the one. Yeah, obviously she has enough money that she can pay for things, but she's also, we call her Tay capitalist for a reason. I mean, that is Tay capitalist.
Tay capital, okay.
She's a billionaire, she'll whatever. But the real problem, of course, that I think people who actually know Taylor Swift and care about her were giving is just this is a person who throughout her career has spent countless hours, countless dollars on standing up for the rights of artists to be paid appropriately for their work and to own their work and have ownership of their work. And when it comes to generative AI, artists are having their art directly stolen from them without credit, without monetary compensation to create this art. And this is a person who has inconvenienced herself greatly for the sake of this point. She pulled her music off of Spotify for 3 years. She lost a lot of money and opportunity from that because she didn't agree with the way that they were paying artists.
How much money? Don't you get 12 cents per 1 million
she
streams?
Has billions of streams, Cam. There's no chance she didn't lose money off of that and exposure as well. And look, inconvenience. It was so annoying. I mean, I bought all of her albums because of that, because it was annoying not to be able to stream her. But yeah, she did that. It was annoying. She re-recorded all of her music, which yes, was an amazing business decision, but in the beginning, no one thought that it would be. It was a huge inconvenience. It was a massive headache to re-record all of her music just because she wanted to prove a point that artists should own the work that they make. So it goes against what I know about her and what I've always known about her to be using something like generative AI, particularly as an artist and particularly also as somebody who has seen the dark side of what generative AI does with deep fake technology. It just seems like it doesn't make sense that this is something she would do, to the point where I'm like, I don't even want to believe that she did that. And so if she was involved, if her team was involved, if somebody somewhere down the line did this, they have to clear it up. She needs to say something. Like, it's just for the most famous person in the world to be using this. It just sends such a crazy message. It doesn't make sense. And I think she needs to say something.
And I feel like she probably won't. Like, I don't take Taylor as like a Notes app apology type who's going to like post an Instagram story being like, hey, like an all lowercase Instagram story where they change the font to some sort of italics thing, because that might make it seem a little bit more personal, like I've seen many artists do. But Taylor, I think, is very, very cautious to speak on literally anything.
But she's very protective of her image, and this looks really, really, really stupid on her. So I would have think that she might say something. But
AI doesn't catch nearly enough heat, as we know. So yes. I kind of feel like if I were somebody around her, I would just kind of downplay it, because it didn't become some big explosive story. There were people who were talking about it. There were people in the fandom who were upset. But generally speaking, like, I don't know if this was able to get enough backlash.
But that's a problem that I really have, like, with the general public and with Swifties as well. It's like people are really mad at her for things that they've made up in their heads, and they're like freaking out online about various things that they've decided are going on in her music and blah 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 whatever. But like, this is something that actually we need to like focus our attention on, and no one's doing it. I'm like, haters, Swifties, this is an issue that we can all come together on, and we're not doing it, I think, because I think we're kind of losing the battle against AI at this point. I think like we're really losing that battle of common sense. And if she were to say something, it would be such a touchstone moment, and it would be such a, okay, maybe generative AI is something that we should be taking more seriously or not using. But like, it really disappoints me that she had any part in this, and that she's probably not going to say anything. So Taylor, if you're watching this, like, I literally would take a bullet for you. And I don't mean this to be like, I'm not criticizing. I just think like you need to say something.
Okay, well, she has security guards to take a bullet for her, so maybe you don't need to volunteer.
What if I was just ever there, you know?
I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like there's another reason that Taylor and similar artists, but you have to single out Taylor simply because, she has the influence, and she is the type of person who can actually move people on this type of thing. So, it's not like she's the only one who has the responsibility, but it's like she does, and two things can be true at the same time. But I feel like talking about AI in general is something that these artists need to be doing because of what's happening on Spotify. Spotify is flooding their network, whatever the fuck you want to call it, with fake shitty AI music that's popping up on people's algorithms. And while it's not going to be something that really affects someone like Taylor, who everybody wants to listen to her song specifically, there's so many emerging artists where Spotify used to be the way that they were able to have, a path to popping off. Mm-hmm. And now these artists have to compete with this shit. And I don't know. It's like, I think you're making a great point, which is that like Taylor Swift has all of these haters and she has all of these fans. And this can be a pivotal moment, not only for people to press Taylor on something that she needs to be pressed on, but also like hate on something Taylor Swift did for the right reason. Like, people are so upset about her talking about Travis Kelce's cock. People are so upset about her weird lyrics beef with Charlie XCX.
It's not weird. It makes sense to me.
No, it doesn't.
Makes sense. It's deserved.
It makes no sense. It's like when the Game of Thrones line, the lion doesn't concern itself with. Well,
that's what the entire song is. It's like you are literally a gnat, and I think it's funny that you hate me.
Why would she do that about a gnat? Like, why should she care about what a gnat has to say?
Because it's funny. It's funny. Women are allowed to be funny. I'm sorry. You don't understand that. Cam the misogynist.
I thought I did. I guess I don't now. But anyway, the point is, it's like, no, this is an AI thing. And it's something that is not just about like the generative AI in the music video. It's something about the entire music industry. I was at I'm not going to name names so as to not incriminate anybody. I was at a famous songwriter's birthday party, and there was a talent show where people got to go up, and it was a very cute premise. It was called the Untalented Talent Show. And the idea was people could go up and do the thing that's not what they're good at. Because there were a lot of artists and creatives at the birthday party. So it was like, oh, you make music, but also you used to tap. So you go on stage and do a tap number for it. It was an opportunity for people to like, I thought it was super cute. A lot of people really overstayed their welcome on stage and did like 5 to 7 minute acts where I'm like, the best thing you can do as a performer is know when it's over, and leaving people wanting more is quite a bit better than making people say. So what I'm saying is these guys go up at this Untalented Talent Show, and their act is they live AI generate a song by talking into the phone and telling all these stories about the individual whose birthday it was, and also sharing some like really private information about him that I know because we're very close, but like not all of the guests there knew.
So they used like this like Suno AI thing or whatever it is.
I guess I don't know what it was called, but they said, okay, make a song in the style of, and then 3 of the different things he had written. And then they played the song for everybody. There was like a song about him using his private information created by AI. And they were so smug and proud of themselves. And it was the worst shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
And so it's, I don't know.
So the point, no, for sure. Like the point is like, there are these tools that exist for people who are not musicians or similarly not physical artists or not, not painters, not whatever, to create what is not art. Actually was stealing other people's work to create some sort of Frankenstein's monster of art. And it is a genuine issue, as well as like the environmental impacts, as well as all this. But I think as an artist, all artists should be against the use of AI. You think AI is taking our jobs? Like AI is trying to take yours and doing a terrible job at it, and people don't care.
Yeah, and I guess my last point there is I don't give a shit about the private jet. That's my most heterodoxical take as like a left-wing person. I
don't care about it. What is she supposed to do?
I don't care about the private jet. I have sat on a commercial airplane next to somebody who was familiar with and a fan of my own work. And it's particularly weird when it's me because saying you're a fan of my work is sort of like, hey, you were great in that school shooting. But it was just such an uncomfortable experience. It was a really nice person, but the whole flight I was just kind of uneasy because I felt like I was being perceived in the panopticon, as you say. And the thought of Taylor Swift being in an airport, I feel like people would just like actually kill her.
You have to understand it would ruin everybody's days. The airport security, the traffic, it would be hell. Whatever, you're right to not care about that.
And the point is, if you're going to go at Taylor for being a climate criminal, here's Taylor supporting climate crime. Like this is sucking water up from the ground. And I guess it's just like, she is in a position. Taylor gets political when she gets political, but she's not somebody who speaks out much about politics generally. And it's like, okay, here's a position you can take that all sorts of people are just not going to give you shit for, and they're not going to nobody's going to call you a partisan hack for doing this.
No, and it would be ideologically coherent with everything that people know about her. So there's honestly no downside. There's no downside. Just, it really disappoints me.
Is the general defense from like the Swifties who refuse to even be like, okay, she is capable of participating in things that are negative, the people who are just like, everything Taylor does is perfect, is the general defense like, oh, she didn't know? Or are there Swifties out there being like, hey, AI isn't so bad?
It's a lot of both, it's Swifties who are like, she definitely didn't know, this wasn't her team, this was Google did this without their consent or whatever. And then there's also, which it's like, I don't know what the truth is, we won't know. And then also there are Swifties who are like, who cares? What's bad about AI? And there are also just Swifties who, I get it, because I also get like negatively polarized during an album cycle to be like, everybody back off, because people do get insane and they say insane things. And then you want to defend her and you get mad and whatever. I understand like getting that reaction and being defensive of her during a time like this. It's very sensitive. But I think like you have to use your brain and know when a criticism is genuine and when it isn't. And this is a genuine criticism. And I'm disappointed in Swifties who are like, I don't care. Who cares? I use AI. ChatGPT writes all my papers, so who cares? I'm like, you are not Taylor Swift. The most famous person in the universe should take a stand against this. She really should.
Everybody, thanks so much for watching. Listen to The Life of a Showgirl, which is an album about everything from Charlie XCX, who handed out trays of cigarettes at her birthday party, to Travis Kelce's cock, which appears to be big, which I don't think anybody doubted that. So I don't know why Taylor had to talk about Travis Kelce having a huge penis. I don't think there was anybody out there.
Once again, because it's funny. I'm so sorry you don't think women are funny. I'm so glad that's the position you're taking.
I do think that one is funny. And I think it's funny because
and God forbid a woman write a song about wanting to have sex with her gargantuan fiance with hands the size of a regulation football field.
No. I get it. I'm with it. And that was like my favorite. It wasn't my favorite song on the album, but it was my favorite thing about the album. It just brings to mind, like, I wonder if there was any doubt in her mind that even the biggest like Taylor and Travis haters we're doubting that Travis Kelce he has just big dick energy. That's,
sometimes there's a proportion issue.
Well, anyway, everyone, stay tuned for more. Stream whatever you want to stream. Just make sure it is an AI, and we'll all be seeing you soon. Thank you, Ellie.